Good morning, everybody. Thank you for your time in advance, and thank you for your interest in the Bytes webinar on the Microsoft Cloud Solution Partner Program. There's a couple of stragglers, so we're a little bit shorter than we expected, so I'll give everybody a few more minutes just to go get a quick coffee, quick cup of tea, and we'll start in roughly 2 minutes' time. Thank you. Bye. Thank you for those attendees who have just joined. Just to keep yourselves in the loop, we're going to start in give or take a minute's time, just to give a few more attendees a chance to register. Thank you. Excellent. Well, I think we've given everybody a couple more minutes, and the numbers are looking pretty good now. So I think we might as well crack on. This is recorded, so if for some reason you need to drop off halfway through, feel free to do so. Your Bytes representative will reach out to you afterwards with a copy of the slides, a copy of the recording, or feel free to contact us for advice based on your particular situations. So again, thank you everybody for joining us to go through the Microsoft Cloud Partner Program. My name is Nathan Miller. I'm the Microsoft Program Manager at Bytes Software Services. Just to run through what we're going to go through today in the roughly give or take an hour that we have. We're going to go through as you can see on the screen, the key changes that Microsoft announced a couple of months ago. So as typical Microsoft, they sort of announced something a few months ago, and then as we go closer to the deadline, more and more things change, more things get added, more things get taken away. So we're going to go through the key changes sort of as they stand today. Going to run through the timelines that you all need to be working towards. I'm going to go through how you can evolve yourselves from a gold or silver partner to the new solution partner designations. I'm going to run through how it's scored, how we can work towards achieving those new accreditations together. I'm going to show you the partner center and how you can track your performance within the partner center, and you can measure what you actually need to do to achieve these new designations or accreditations. And then we'll summarize it. As it is Microsoft, there's lots of information. Each thing we're going through probably has a complementary PDF that's got a further 20 pages to it. So I've tried to summarize these changes down to something incredibly simple, a very simple one-pager for you to know what to do to sort of conquer the solution partner designations. So just a summary of the key changes. So from the 3rd of October, the Microsoft Partner Network, which a lot of us would know as MPN for short, will be renamed the Microsoft Cloud Partner Program, just for saving my voice, because I'm going to be saying that quite a bit. Going forward, I'll be referring to that as MCPP. Sorry, and another acronym for you to all learn, but the amount of times I say that, I'd rather say my breath would just say MCPP. So yeah, the MPN is going to be changed to MCPP. What Microsoft is saying is that this is a simplification of the MPN. As lots of people on the call will know, there'll be partners who are recipients of multiple gold and silver accreditations. And what Microsoft has typically done whenever a new service comes out, instead of generally bringing that new service into an existing accreditation, we'll find that a new silver or gold accreditation will turn up, or an advanced specialization will turn up specifically for that. So what we're sort of led with is, what we're left with, sorry, is 18 silver or gold accreditations, overlapping quite a lot, a bit of confusion about the benefits and things like that. So Microsoft have decided to completely scrap all that going forward, and they're going to streamline these into 6 tracks. We'll go through these 6 tracks a bit later on, but I think it's best we go through the timelines first, just to stress to everybody, this is not happening today. You don't need to panic that you're going to log into your partner center tomorrow and your gold accreditation is gone or worthless or whatever. That's definitely not the case, but we need to work together to ensure that we're in the best position possible. So when this happens, you've essentially not lost anything. Partners are now going to be tested in 3 main areas, and you'll see these areas crop up quite a bit. My aim is to just continually mention these 3 areas so that it's drilled into any partner. How do I get a designation? It's based on performance, skilling, customer success. Those are the 3 tiers of the Microsoft new systems. It's worth knowing that. Partner Center has been updated so partners can track the progress. I will attempt to demo the Partner Center, saying that with a lot of trepidation. Lots of people on the call know that the Partner Center can be very finicky. So fingers crossed it decides to work, while I'm presenting. And yeah, the new designations that we're going to go through can be achieved from October. So, you might be in a perfect position to achieve them now, and that's great. If you're not in a position to achieve them now, again, that's not a problem. We have until October before these designations actually come into play. So here's the timeline that we discussed. I would say that we can ignore March the 16th because it's well past March the 16th now, but these changes were initially announced in March the 16th. The main dates for us want to be September the 30th, October the 3rd, and beyond. As we can see on there, September the 30th is very crucial because that is when what we know today as our silver and gold accreditations, that is when they will be changed and they will now be known as legacy competencies. So going forward, we're referring to silver and gold as legacy competencies. There's a change that's going to happen on that day straight away. When gold and silver move to be legacy competencies, if I can get my words right, the badges that are associated with gold and silver will completely disappear. So those badges will be put into end of life by Microsoft. It's quite annoying because I do like going onto partners' websites and seeing at the bottom left or the bottom right of the web page, and you've got the big list of the gold and the silver and the badges and everything. Sadly, from the 30th of September, those will be end of life. How Microsoft are going to enforce that on their websites, they're probably not going to be able to, are they? But the section in the portal, where you can build your logo and you can add your accreditations in, that's not going to work anymore. It's going to be gone because you cannot, Microsoft can't allow you to advertise something which is end of life. So the associated badges, regardless of your competency being valid, you'll no longer have those badges. You will still be a gold or a silver partner, but the badge just won't exist anymore. As we can see on there, the last day to attain your legacy competency is the end of September. So if you have any renewals of your competencies coming up between now and the end of September, you want to sort of look at yourself and look at the new program and think, can I be in a position to move to the new program when my thing runs out? Because what you're able to do is you're able to renew. Say your competency is going to renew, next month, tomorrow, whenever, anytime before September 30th. You're able to renew, the golds and the silvers that you've got now, and from the 3rd of October, if you hit the requirements for the new MCPP, you will transition across to it. You'll be in a position where you can transition across, so you'll be able to generate the new logos. You'll be able to benefit from all the new licenses that you're getting and the increased amount of Azure credits, etc. That's obviously best case scenario. If when we go into the partner center later, you see that you're not quite up to scratch on the new MCPP program, and don't forget, this is a big change from silver and gold. I wouldn't be surprised if you all need to tweak things a little bit to ensure that you do qualify. If your gold and silver comes up for renewal before that, there's nothing wrong in you renewing that for the year. You can renew that for the year. You won't have any badges because the gold and silver badge is going to disappear. You won't transition across onto the new MCPP, but you'll be in a position where you've basically bought yourself a year's extra legacy benefits. That's going to be the new phrase. What you get with gold and silver, again, is going to be legacy benefits. The easiest way to describe that for everyone on the call, I'm sure we've all dealt with the NCE migration, and we've had the whole legacy to NCE, and we had the price increase that was happening in March. I guess this could be seen as a little bit similar to the price increase. You know, you all had the conversation with your customer, can we move you to NC early to take advantage of the adoption promo, or can we renew you in legacy to delay the price increase for 12 months? I guess essentially you're sort of doing that with this. You can renew your legacy, you know, for 12 months, and that's delaying you joining the MCPP, but it's also buying you the extra time to pass those extra exams or to win those extra customers that are needed to actually move across onto the new program. We'll go through what the metrics are for the new program in a second. The information now is just to give you the high level on what you need to do. So yeah, up until September the 30th, you can renew on your current service, your gold or silver. From October the 3rd, the new partner program takes its effect. The new solution partner designations, which are going to replace your competencies, come into effect. You can't renew, you can't renew in December your gold competency because it no longer exists. And the advanced specializations are pulled into this program as well. So resellers on the call, and there's some of them that I definitely know have advanced specializations. This is tied up as part of it. So you have your advanced specialization banner again that you can put on your website. This is going to be tied into the solution partner program, and you'll get a better version of the same badge essentially. On the last section, you're beyond. So after you can no longer renew legacy, what options do you have? But the preferred option 1, is you work towards a new solution provider and partner designation. That's obviously the preferred option. I'm sure everybody on the call wants to do that, but it may be easier for some than it is for others. Option 2 is to purchase the legacy benefits. So that's essentially what I just described before, which is if you had a competency prior to the 30th of September and you renewed that, you can purchase legacy benefits, the legacy benefits package. So that, to paint the picture for you, everything you've got now as a gold and silver partner, you will get under legacy benefits. So you can renew the legacy benefits for the year. So you're not going to lose out on your benefits, even in December and January when your gold accreditation and your badge is gone and everything, you can still take advantage of legacy benefits until your next renewal. So it is running very similar to the price increase conversation that you've had. So I'm just going to go to the next slide now. We're going to just ask through this webinar. We're going to run a couple of polls. The first poll question is should be sent to you now. This will be along the lines of how confident are you as a reseller that you're able to make the transition to the new program. You may need this next slide to help you with that. What I've put together is the evolution. So if you are a gold or silver partner in any of these competencies on the left, what I've done is I've put the competencies, I've put what they're going to move to going forward, and I've also next to it in the final column on the right, put the specialized and expert programs next to it. in case any of you want to go from a solution partner designation to go to the next step and get the what was known as the advanced specialization. But as we can see, I wanted this to be a good, one pager essentially for your reading deck when you can go into your partner center. You can say, okay, I know that we've got cloud platform and we've got data center, both goals. What would I move across to? So in that situation, you would move across to the solution partner for infrastructure, as is seen as the middle column. When you've obtained that, you can choose, do I stay as a solution partner for infrastructure, or do I look at specializing in one of those three fields on the right? You've had that, I guess you've had that mindset already, because these advanced specializations are nothing new. It's just a bit, they've been brought into the same program, so it's a bit more coherent. But you can choose. You don't have to go for the advanced specializations. The only thing that changes is you will get a slightly different badge from Microsoft, signifying that you've passed the exam, you've passed the audit, and you've done enough SAP on Azure workloads to get that that specialized program. Obviously, significantly harder than just getting a silver and gold. So currently, there are a lot less partners that have got the specializations, and a lot less that have got the Azure Expert MSP. But yeah, they'll be pulled into it, and that should help show you the route to progression. Key things that I would say on this page, or to take away from this page, we can clearly see the direction of travel from Microsoft. If we look at the left, we can clearly see that currently, as we know it now, there are more modern work competencies. We've got six there, six competencies that Microsoft classes as modern work. That's getting condensed down to one. In theory, any partners that have those six legacy competencies should be in an incredibly strong position to transfer across onto modern work from day one, because in theory you've had to hit six individual competencies, so you should be in quite a strong position. But I think that's worth noting that your six are turning to one, and it's very interesting. We can clearly see, if we didn't know this already, that Microsoft are having a massive push on Azure. We can see of the six specializations, there is actually three of them that are aligned purely to Azure. And the answer to that could be that Azure is that much bigger than modern work. It's all encompassing. You can pretty much do anything in Azure. Or we could see that as that's what Microsoft are leading with first. So yeah, I think that's probably worth pointing out. I'm just going to go to the next page first. What we'll show you now, this is we've mentioned them quite a bit, the solution partner designations already. This is what they actually look like. So as we can see in the sort of middle of the page, your gold and your silver badge will be replaced by one of these badges in the middle of the page. So if you're a solutions partner for infrastructure, you'll get the one on the left. It's a cleaner design. Stick that on the bottom of your website. The difference, if you get an advanced specialization, say you did, if we go back to the previous page, you've got the top accreditation there, which is the solution partner for infrastructure, because you previously had cloud platform and data center. Good. You then decided that you've got quite a lot of VMware services that you offer to your customers as well. You want to start looking into putting that VMware hosted on an Azure environment instead. You might look at the advanced specialization for the Azure VMware solution. Obviously, it's different to your competence and your accreditations. Now you'll have to do a number of deployments. You have to prove to Microsoft that you've deployed this solution a number of times. You'll need more customer references to say that you've deployed the VMware solution. You'll also need to pass an audit. So it's a lot harder. That's why less people have got it. But you can work for that. And what will happen if you go back to the previous page we were on, where it says infrastructure Azure solutions partner, there'll be a sort of a grey bit underneath it. So it's a grey background with white writing, and it will say Azure on VMware specialist. So it is quite good to highlight not only that you have the solution partner designation in Azure, but that you specialized in that particular area. So how do we obtain a solution partner designation? So I've gone through what they are and broken down into the six. Now, although I've said there are 6, and I've said multiple times there are actually 6 of them. You may see on the 7th, you may see on the right there's actually a 7th one. I've not missed that, and I keep saying 6. The 7th one, the solution partner for Microsoft Cloud, it's sort of a bonus one. If you achieve all 6 of what you see on the screen, you will be automatically assigned the solution partner for Microsoft Cloud as a, I guess, a sort of thank you, as an overriding one, which is you have excelled in every area. Shouldn't really mention this on a Microsoft-led call, but the best example I can think of that is if any of you, if we've got any gamers out there and anyone's playing PlayStation, you get your trophies, and when you get every trophy, you get a platinum trophy for achieving everything. That's the best way that I can think of that. Probably a bad example for a Microsoft call, but yeah, if you achieve all 6 of those partner designations on that page, you'll get the 7th one. So how do we actually achieve them? You will now be scored on a scale of 1 to 100. So instead of the other method before, when it was get 5 customers, get 20 customers, pass exams, we're now doing that, or Microsoft are now doing that on a points-based system that are broken down into the 3 points that you see on the screen: performance, skilling, and customer success. I would suggest to everybody, yes, it's obviously good to aim for 100, but if you get 99 out of 100 or 71 out of 100, you've still passed. You still earned a solution partner designation. So yes, it's good. It's good to have a few extra points in the bank in case staff leave or customers churn, etc. But yes, it's out of 100. But the advice to everybody on the call is 70 should be the number that you're aiming for. These points are broken down slightly differently for each designation. So I'll show you that now. But we can see how Microsoft are wanting us to achieve these designations. You will get a partner capability score when you log into your partner center, and in a few minutes when I log into the partner center and show you where it is, you'll have individual scores out of 100 for all the available solutions partner designations. As we can see here, different sections are worth different points for the different solutions. What I want to, I think quite a key point here, so we're aiming for 70. In theory, we could get to 70 points without hitting everything. We could, let's have a look at this. We could do this, the Azure solutions partner designations, and we could win enough customers. It's different per designation as well, how many customers you need to win. But we could win enough customers for Azure, and that's got us 30 points straight away. And then we could go away and you could have a few staff pass on what are classed as intermediate certifications and advanced certifications, and you'd be on 70. So that, in theory, is enough points for you to become a solutions partner in Azure. You will not qualify unless you have something in each section. And each section is not performance, skilling, and customer success. It's the sections within those categories. So for performance, it'll be fine. You win a customer and you'll get some points, but you would need to have, out of the 20 points available for immediate sets, you'll need points in both immediate and advanced. You'll also need points in usage growth and deployments. So yes, in the fake scenario that we just made up, you could get 70 points because you win enough customers and you've got incredibly certified staff. And they're 70 points. But if you're not hitting the bottom part of customer success, you need at least points in deployment and usage growth to actually tick over. So you could get your 70 points, but you still won't obtain the designation. What I think is probably worth noting is on the usage growth and the deployments, there's a very Microsoft style calculation that's done to work it out. Now, usage growth takes your base number on what you are. It has a formula which works something out and works out what the growth should be, and then takes that back into points. In theory, you could get half a point for usage growth. doesn't sound like it's particularly helpful, but in this scenario, if you just get half a point, you will, technically, and half a point for use to half a point for deployment, you'll technically qualify as a solution partner designation. So that's what I wanted to call out. We've seen a little bit of confusion about this, where partners looking at, I'm just going to sell to loads of customers, and I'm just going to get my staff to pass exams. But you need to be doing something in every box for it to actually count. In fact, we've seen people looking at it and doing it the other way, when we're thinking, okay, we can sell to enough customers, and if we sell to enough customers, in theory, we're going to get points in the customer success, because we're going to sell to customers and we're going to upsell to existing customers. Therefore, we get our net customer adds, we get our usage growth, and we get our deployments. Yeah, that's fine, but they would also need to go back and pass some exams as well. So yeah, that's what I wanted to push across. The other thing, it looks easier on paper. The solutions partner for security looks like it should be easier, because we're seeing it, it's 40 points, and we only need to do the intermediate certifications. It looks easier, but what Microsoft classes intermediate certifications for security, it's actually a lot harder. That's why it's worth more points. You're probably going to need to get to, when you get, you pass your exams and you get the 1, 2, and 3-star rating, you're probably going to need to get your staff to the 3-star sort of architect expert level to actually hit that requirement. So it looks like it'd be a quick win, but it's probably harder. And another interesting one, in the solutions partner for modern work, which is probably the easier one for partners to get, because I said it's the condensing of 6 accreditations down to 1. In the intermediate sets, M365, the M365 900 actually counts. So the Microsoft Fundamentals does count as an immediate set. So that could be a very quick win for a lot of partners on the call. A lot of partners that are technically led will probably ignore the fundamentals as an exam, because your staff are probably more knowledgeable than what the fundamentals actually gives them, and they'll jump straight on to the 2-star, the 3-star, like the MS104 or something like that. You could get your staff to go back to pass the MS900, and you'll basically 4 or 5 staff, you'll end up getting 10 points. That could be a very quick win. And then for the Azure ones, multiple staff, because there's 3 Azure designations that you can earn, multiple staff can count in, the same staff can count in multiple solution partner designations. So if you've got one member of staff that's done 5 or 6 Azure exams and they're at that expert level, you will probably see that person is earning you points in the immediate and the advanced sets across all 3 Azure designations. So that is, another thing to call out. I've included this next slide just as a sort of highlight to everybody, that on paper it does in fact look that Microsoft are asking you to do more. I think if we're completely honest about this, if you are a silver partner, you're looking at these accreditations now, it may, to actually hit these accreditations, you're probably looking at it thinking, that is a lot more work than I've had to do for silver. There are some silver accreditations where, it's 5 new customers a year in small to mid-market cloud solution provider, no exams needed, 5 customers, and silver cloud platform, again, no sort of exams needed. It's hit a particular threshold in Azure consumption and you earn that. If you do that, currently, when we move to the new solution partner designations, categorically, you're not going to qualify as a solution partner. So Microsoft are asking you to do more for these solution partners. My opinion is that they've sort of taken a look at it and thought, we've added loads of these extra competencies and accreditations in, and the bar to entrance, when this is quite low, they might have lost a little bit of the prestige. I think I saw some ridiculous stats that there's meant to be like 10,000 or 12,000 silver partners, and I thought that was ridiculously high, to be honest. And Microsoft have obviously seen the same stat and thought, these banners, these logos that had prestige we've maybe made them a bit easy. So yes, they have made it harder for you to obtain these. There is no doubt about that. I'm confident that we can obviously still work together to I guess I hate using the industry buzzword of pivot. You'll have to pivot what you're doing now, maybe take a few more exams, etc. But I'm confident we can work together to get you onto the new program. But you're going to have to change a little bit potentially, or put some more sort of work into a different area. When you've done all that, you will receive more benefits. That is quite it's quite apparent. So in your current, as we can see on the screen, one of the new sections for Solution Partner, you're going to get more Azure credits, which is very good. Microsoft are being quite generous with these Azure credits, and you're going to get a lot more licenses. I've got something on the next slide that will show just what you would get. I've picked the modern work one, but we can see just the extra licenses and the extra benefits that you're going to get. And to be fair, even in modern work, you're getting Azure credits now, so you will have to pivot, do something differently, adapt your company's Microsoft stance and roadmap, but you will be rewarded. As we can see on the screen, that Microsoft are saying that we're going to get more Azure credits, we're going to get more products, we're going to get more Power BI products. Advisory hours are pretty similar, so anyone that's had gold, you've sort of got 50 advisory hours now. Select partner incentives, the select partner incentives probably have been included in these before. When Microsoft do you have your standard incentives, which is that the core rebate of the 4% in the accelerators, etc. If you had an advanced specialization, or you were a gold partner but sold a lot of Azure, a lot of Dynamics, you would regularly be contacted with these what are classed as local accelerators, which will be, we've got 6 months of the financial year left. For any new Dynamics customer that you get, you'll earn X. And the Azure one was quite simple. There was 6 months left. In the previous 6 months, you had all these tenants doing $1,000 a month. Can you get them above? If you get them above $1,000, you get £500 back, something like that. The numbers change every year, but that's what it means by the select partner incentives. So if you're a silver partner, you're probably not being invited to these because of the qualification for silver partner. So there's another incentive to try and get yourself to solution partner. These incentives can be quite lucrative on top of your current incentives. So that's probably worth pushing for as well. Right. So as I mentioned, I've highlighted the modern work benefits. Each solution partner designation comes with its own set of benefits, and the Azure ones, because there's 3 of them, have a slightly different rule. The Azure ones have what's classed as a core benefit. So get any of the Azure ones and you get 2 core benefits. Top of my head, they're more credits. When Microsoft were giving you in cloud platform, they were giving you the 12 grand a year. Well, you still get the 12 grand a year as a core benefit, but you also get an additional 6 grand as well. So currently under your current benefits, you'd have the 12 grand of credits, and then you get the $100 a month as well. The $100 has been upgraded to 6 grand. So that's quite a nice increase. So you get the core benefits for your Azure, and then when you pass your second Azure one or your third Azure one, you get additional benefits that are linked to that designation. But because that is quite convoluted and quite wordy, I thought I'd just stick with modern work, just so we can illustrate that you're getting quite a lot more now. The one thing I don't understand, and I'm sure a few questions are going to pop up, I'm not 100% sure why we're giving resellers education licenses. I'm not really sure why there are 25 A5s that have turned up. I assume that but I don't really know a reseller that is classed as an education establishment, but you've now got 25, I guess, for testing to work out what the difference is between A5 and E5, I guess, just a guess. But you're now going to get some pretty expensive Dynamics licenses, a few business premium. It's quite surprised that business premium was only 25, but adversely quite pleased that pretty much any reseller is now going to get 200 M365 E5 licenses. Those licenses are £48 per user per month. That's quite a significant investment. I like the fact that Viva's included. we know that Viva is going to be a big push for Microsoft for the next FY, because it's all about ensuring a sort of happy workplace and a learning management system, etc. So the fact that resellers get Viva for themselves, for internal use, it's quite clever by Microsoft as well. Give customers something, give partners something that they can use internally, because they're probably going to be better at selling Viva to customers. So it makes sense. I was quite pleased to see that in there. And again, we know that Windows 365/AVD, but for a different page, we know that is always going to be a big push from Microsoft. So, to see 5 Windows 365 Enterprise included, it was, expected, to be honest. And then you've got a couple of server licenses, a fairly decent number of System Center. But if you compare that to what you've currently got now, sort of like for like on a gold or silver accreditation, you'll find that the amount you're going to get back from Microsoft in these benefits is currently better than before. So if you're using these services, that's another reason to look at making the jump from silver to gold to the new accreditations. So this is the part that I'm going to do with much trepidation, but I'm going to attempt to log into the Microsoft Partner Center. Fingers crossed. Yeah, as I say, fingers crossed that it is. Fingers crossed it's going to work. Because we all know what the Partner Center is like. So I'm just going to stop sharing for a second. I'm going to log back in, and I'll give you a quick demo of what you can do, and if I were yourselves, where I would be looking. Excellent. It looks like it's I've managed to log in. You should be able to see my screen. We should be able to see the Microsoft Partner Center now. If someone can drop a message just to say it's sharing. Okay, cool. Give me a second. I will stop sharing and I'll start sharing again, because apparently we've got a black screen. Can someone drop a message so they can see the Partner Center now? Yes, thank you. So yeah, I knew something would go wrong. Technology. Right, we're in the Partner Center. Excellent. So you should all be familiar. You should all be familiar with this page, because this is your main login page. Where you want to be going to see your new social partner designations and how you're performing is the Insights section. And just very quickly, before I click the Insights section, this is a Microsoft sort of test tenant. I know exactly when I click it, someone's going to point out that we've only got 1 out of 100 in one of the social partner designations. I've passed that on to Microsoft that they need to pass more BizApps exams, but they didn't really pick up on the joke. So this is a test tenant, and we've got some performance. We're doing quite well. We're doing quite well in some things, and we're doing pretty bad in BizApps. You should all be able to log into your Partner Center, click the Insights, and then click on the left Solution Partner. That will bring you to this overview screen. You may have logged in last week. This overview screen looked different last week. We've now got a few extra tabs at the top. The score simulator being the main one. But what I would suggest is you log in here and you look at the social partner designations that you are closest to 70 on, and that becomes your low-hanging fruit. So in this case, it's a really good example. We've got 75 out of 100, or Miller Rink has got 75 out of 100. That's good, but I don't have a tick. I haven't got a green tick anywhere. We'll have to have a quick look and see. I've got no skills apparently. So yeah, although I've in Microsoft's eyes absolutely smashed the performance, 20 out of 20 there, that's obviously excellent. 55 out of 55 for customer success. I did say the customer success is slightly different for modern work, which we can see here. So I've got 75, but I'm not a modern work solution partner because I've not passed an exam. So what I'll need to do is I'll go to the skill and eligibility section, and it'll bring a pop-up up where it'll pull staff through and things like that, and it'll say any staff that you've got linked to you, it can pull their accreditations through. But in my case, there won't be any. But it can pull your staff through, it can pull what exams they've got, and it will sort of suggest, for example, this person for Azure has passed the AZ 900, which, as I've said before, doesn't count for anything in the solution partner designations, but it may recommend that that person could be a good person to target to pass one of the other Azure exams. If all your staff are linked and put in the AD, it'll pull that through, and you can track the staff as well. So when one of them, say for example, for this Azure one here, they go away and they pass the AZ 900, that will give me well, nothing. But if they go and pass the 600 or the 104, they'll appear in the immediate certifications here. And as you'll see, I'll get 1 point because one exam is 1 unit, so I get 4 points. Sorry. But then if I then go and pass another exam, you can see them move across onto the advanced certification section as well. So it's quite a good way of tracking your staff, their learning, and how that is linked to you passing these exams. So what we'd be doing for this reseller is quite obvious. We want to target modern work in the SMB track. So we really need to get one person to start, one or two people in case they leave, need to get them passing exams to actually qualify. For in fact, that's the case for everyone. So we just don't have any, I suppose because this is like a test dummy account, we don't have anybody assigned to it. So therefore there's going to be no exams passed. But if we were this reseller, we can clearly see that skilling is something that we need to focus on. We're doing very well from a sales performance, even in the Azure infrastructure, we've got 60 out of 100 on sales performance. So we need to just find some staff to go and pass some exams. You can use the new score simulator. It doesn't add too much in my opinion, but it picks up the recommendations. So for modern work, we've already identified that we need an individual to pass an advanced exam, and we need 2 people to pass intermediate exams, as shown on this screen here with our 2 and 1 respectively. We can probably all add it up and work out what 25 points extra gives us. But if we use the score simulator, we can go through and we can tick basically what we're going to get our staff to do, and we can then click view the result, and that will show us how that affects it. So if you're just doing it with 1 or 2 members of staff, it may not be a huge benefit. But if, for example, you know that your staff are going away taking exams but not linking them to you, and you know that you've got, for example, 20 certified individuals for BizApps, and you've got 7 for the advanced. If you know what they've got and they're just associating and adding themselves to you, you can go in, you can make your changes. Now let's just click a few more things, and you can click view results, and it will it will show us the changes that have been made. We've got 3 staff to pass, therefore we're now at 100. What has that changed anywhere else? As you can see, look, we've now got an extra 20 for an Azure set, extra 20 on that one as well, and we've had a big leap in Biz application as well. Still not enough. We're still only at sort of 36 of 100, but certifications is not the real problem in this Biz app, is it? We also need to sell it. But you can use the score simulation to sort of plan out, for your next 6 months. Plan out what exactly you need to pass. I've just seen a question coming in that I was going to answer the questions at the end, but I'm on the right page to answer that question. So someone's asked, what is the difference between SMB and enterprise for modern work? So it's a good question. If we use this example here, actually let's create the simulation. Let's go back to the legitimate performance, hopefully. The difference is based on customers. So it should display here. So we're on the SMB track. If I can click the view the metric trends, will that work? good. It's based on the size of your customer. So that has not truly provided us the information what we need. So in the SMB track, it's akin to what you had to do in your gold accreditation. So for gold small to mid-market cloud solution provider, you need 20 customers. That is a requirement of the modern work SMB track. So you can get your new customer ads for SMB, your 20 points, by getting 20 customers. According to this, we've got 40 customers, so that's good. Well ahead of where we needed to be. So we could lose a customer or two and we'll still be able to renew. So in the SMB track, it's smaller customers. So SMB for Microsoft is 1 user to 300 users. So we need to get 20 of them per year. In the enterprise track, it's 300 plus, and the amount is reduced. I believe, let's have a look and see if we can show it here. No, I guess that's not working because it's coming soon. That's fine. I believe it's 5 above 300 is worth the same as 20 below 300, and you'll either hit SMB, you'll either hit modern work for SMB or enterprise track. The advanced, the logo is exactly the same. It's just, are you focused on the the above 300 or the below 300 members of staff? Basically is the answer to that question. The rest is exactly the same though, that the skilling, the deployment, the customer success, that's all the same. The only thing that changes is the net new customer ads. For this page, that's about it. As we can see, look, we've got the section that's coming soon. It's a bit of a shame because on the update, so before last week when it was updated, we had there was a bit more that we could view on the page. It looks like it's coming to customer eligibility and it's coming soon. But this will be your main page, your high level. How exactly do we get to 70 points, and how do we get points in each of these sections? But yeah, on the old screen, it gave us the ability to see for modern work what is SMB, what is enterprise, which one can assume is going to come in this customer eligibility section. Excellent. Yeah, so, well, I'm quite pleased. I'm quite pleased with that because I did think that there was a chance that the partner center, possibly wasn't going to work. So flipped it back to the presentation. We're going ahead nicely. Just to basically summarize. There's some more questions coming, which is good. I'll do my summary and then we will answer the questions, because essentially the partner center demo is the last thing. So just to summarize, when we're thinking about the new solution partner designations, we in our minds want to be thinking of the 3 pillars that are on the screen. We want to be thinking of skilling, customer success, and performance. That is what it's broken down to. That the person that's in charge of gaining your accreditations, moving you from gold, silver to gold to solution partner designation, it's all about these 3 things on the screen. Skilling, and the benefit to yourself is it's going to increase your reseller knowledge. You're going to hopefully sell more products, more competent staff, etc., more high certified staff. All looks good for your website, your press releases, your tender results, your LinkedIn stuff when you're always putting your badges out there. But skilling, customer success, usage growth, and deploy more services. Azure, for example, usage growth. Anyone that's targeting the Azure solution partner designation, that should be a really easy one for you. What is usage growth? Well, we had an invoice of 70 grand a month. We're working with customers, we're adding more VMs in. We've gone from 70 to 75 to 80. That's usage growth. It's also deploying more services. For your modern workplace and for your biz apps, again, usage growth is basically selling, your customers using more in the services that they've bought, i.e. you've just moved them from business standard to business premium. They've got Intune and they've got things like that. Basically make sure all the staff are using that. That's usage growth, and that's also deploying more services. And performance, quite simple. win new customers. So yeah, 9 minutes to spare. That's the presentation done. Thank you everybody for sort of spending your morning with us. There are a few questions in the chat. I'll attempt to answer these questions in the 9 minutes that we've got. One of them is a very good question, so that might take a bit longer. But if we don't answer them all in time, quite simply, we will send a frequently asked questions document out for everybody, summarising the questions and the answers as well. So if you want to drop off, feel free to do so. There's a question that's coming that if I was asked this question last week, then I'd have given you a different answer. Well, I was asked this last week and I gave somebody a different answer to what I'm going to give now. The question is regarding direct CSP performance and its link to solution partner designations. It's quite a good question. We'll all know that there are caveats and there are criteria that you need to hit to be a direct CSP, based on how much revenue you've actually got, what your growth plans are, you building your own platforms and doing your own billing and maintaining a support contract with Microsoft, etc. I was asked the question last week, and my answer was there's not a known link between the solution partner designations and direct or indirect status. And Microsoft have not said there's a link or not, but I gave the answer and I was a little bit dismissive because there's nothing known about them being linked. But I sort of sat back and thought about it, and I think that knowing what Microsoft do, knowing that we always hear rumors that the direct statuses are changing and the numbers are going up, what you've got to hit, I can genuinely see these have a link to the direct status. What I'm thinking, and this is just my opinion, could be completely wrong, and sadly, this webinar is recorded, so you can all play this back to me in 6 months when it's wrong. Solution partner designations cover almost all of the requirements to be a direct CSP, apart from a billing mechanism and the portal and support. A billing mechanism and a portal, that's something that Microsoft can't really gauge, and they can't really benefit from, I suppose. That they'll see that you may be using a portal, you're buying out, you're building it, and that's the box ticked. I remember when I went to TVP, so Microsoft's office in Reading, when they first changed the direct requirements and added the new, you've got to pay for that support contract, ranging from 20 grand a year to 400 grand a year, or wherever the ceiling is these days on that premise support contract. And I remember being quite taken back because I was showing around the office and they basically said, here's where our tech support sit. And there was like 3 people there, and that was it. And then I said, well, that's got to be a problem, right? Because all people are doing is going out and buying the support contract, and you've got 3 or 4 members of staff. And they went, yes, we're having to hire a lot more technical support and now to bring third-party agencies in, like Brook Street and Accenture, etc., to actually cover the support requirement. So that didn't achieve what Microsoft wanted it to achieve. Microsoft wanted the director to take one look at that and think, I can't pay for that support contract, it's not viable. But what people did is left it last minute, got the email from Microsoft to say you've been offboarded. They panicked, they spent 20, 30, 40, 100 grand, whatever they need to spend to keep that status, because if they didn't do it tomorrow, they couldn't transact. My theory is that I know that was not what they wanted. My theory, and I have to stress this is just a theory, that there'll be another cloud solution partner designation, another thing for you to hit with an MCP, and that will be revolving around support. I can't 100% work out how that would be targeted. Support tickets to Microsoft and things like that is the only way that I can think of. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see something else turn up as a solution partner designation for support, because Microsoft gave people the option of basically just buying the way out of it and buying a support contract and not fixing what Microsoft saw was the first, second, third line, always sending things to them sort of thing. So yeah, I realise that's a very long answer to something that it may happen, it may not happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see another solution partner designation turn up, which goes against the whole message of, we're getting 18 down to 6 with that bonus 7th one for, clarity. But yeah, I won't be surprised if we see something turn up and it's a solution provider for support, and that becomes a requirement as well. Hopefully that answers the question. There's a few. I'm just going to scroll back up to the top just to make sure that I'm not missing any. And yeah, thank you. You've been very engaging. There's quite a lot of questions. I won't get all these questions finished in time, so we will send the frequently asked questions document out with the recording. Does the advanced skills in the social partner designation section have anything to do with the advanced specializations? Yes. Yeah, very good question. Yes. When you are, I guess, aiming towards an advanced specialization, yes, it's not just skilling that you need to consider, it's other areas on top. But yeah, if you're aiming for an advanced specialization, because if we use this example that you're really good at VMware or SAP on Azure, then the exams that you're going to have to take for it'd be the advanced section, not the intermediate section. But yes, the exams that you're going to take will help with the skilling section for the advanced specialization. If you're aiming for an advanced specialization, I'd probably say, reach out to your Bytes representative. We can have a call to plan how you get to the advanced specializations, because it's not as simple as these ones we're passing exams. With advanced specializations, you're also going to have to go through a Microsoft audit as well. We've gone through these audits. We have, I think, 6 or 7 advanced specializations. Now, if you happen to be going for the same one that we've got, we're more than happy to say, okay, here is an idea of what they asked us, etc. So we're more than happy to help you, plan for that advanced specialization path. But to answer the question, yes, the skills are transferable, and if you do tick the box for the skills in one section, they'll move across to the specialization section as well. There's a question regarding Azure credits. Yes, a very eagle-eyed viewer here. The Azure Visual Studio subscription does note that didn't include the Azure credit. Previously, there was $115 paid per month. Can we request whether Azure credit is divided between the staff, or would we need to move them to a central subscription within the credit applied? That's a good question. I don't 100% know the answer to that, so I'm going to have to take it offline. You do have the option, when you are given these bulk credits, of assigning them to users. So you can assign the 6 or the 12 grand to individual users. It wouldn't. You may have to put another metric in place though, because a member of staff that was only getting $115 per user, we're now giving them the keys to 6 grand shared amongst other people. So I'll take that question away to get a definitive answer. Yeah, you can assign users onto that that amount, but you probably want to put something in place to make sure that they're not just, if they're used to spending up $115 and they go in and we're now giving them unrestricted access to 6 grand, that 6 grand might disappear quite quickly. So I'll take that question offline to get a definitive answer. Yeah, as I said, you can assign the bulk amount to users, but you probably want something in place to stop that user blitzing all your credits if they're unaware of what they're doing. Okay, conscious that it is now 5:30. We'll end the webinar now. As I said, apologies if I haven't answered your question. Don't that's not done that on purpose. We've just literally ran out of time. We'll get them sent out to you with a recording. Feel free to contact your account manager before that turns up and book in extra calls with us. This is a big change, and every reseller is completely different. your path to achieving solution partner designation will be bespoke and different, as you are all bespoke and different. So yeah, please reach out and we'll work together on plotting a course to actually achieving this. Again, yeah, thank you for your time and hopefully we'll speak soon.